this will be available in recording, and learn do's and don'ts with lead gen. And while we're just starting, please tell me if you can see us and if the sound is good. So, okay, I see people on the stream and everybody's logging in, but I don't see that we have the sound. Okay, KJ, I assume if nobody say no, we do have the sound and everybody can hear us loud and clear. So I'll hide myself and give you the front seat and welcome.
Hi, Vlad.
Oops, sorry, learning the stuff. Now it's the right one.
Hey, everyone, and thank you, Vlad, for this opportunity. I always love to share my experience and what I know and knowledge or whatever. I always love this stuff. So yeah, thank you very much for providing me this opportunity. And hello, everyone. So yeah, let's get things started.
So let's start with how did you get to doing lead gen? I think it's not your first endeavor into affiliate marketing, and you probably did other things. So why lead gen?
Okay, so I started with lead gen, I think, in 2015. Since I've been in affiliate marketing for a long time, right? I always thought about this having a more control over my traffic, basically having more control over my audience and everything. Like if I'm sending traffic to an advertiser, I want to make most out of the traffic I generate, for example, by collecting subscribers and all that. And I was doing that already. So I found I came across a lead buyer in 2015, and at that time I started this small campaign, which was in the UK life insurance, which I still do. Like that's almost 7 years ago now. If we start from 2015, but anyways, so I started that campaign. I started running traffic to them. It was only Google search at that time, and I realized it helps me greatly in terms like I have more control over my landing pages and stuff like that, and to make most out of my payouts and stuff. So yeah, that's why. Plus I always feel like you should be providing the best customer experience, and you can't do that with traditional like let's say affiliate campaigns at times when you don't have uh, any experience with sorry, it's just my wife. She gave me a note and she said stop looking down. Look up the cam because my camera's up there, so that made me forget. So sorry about that. That's a glitch.
I try it all the time because my camera is also a bit higher than the screen, so I keep going up and down.
Yeah. So that I realized like if you don't have control over your audience, you can't monetize it properly, and then also you can't provide the proper experience, especially because with offers, the thing is, if an ad network is asking you to change something or stuff like that, going back and forth, that's really hard. So it was mostly about control, taking control of your audience and everything, and maximizing your revenues. That was one of the reasons why I started with lead generation, and especially even in affiliate campaigns and all that, I was always more about lead generation style campaigns.
Good. And besides control, what do you enjoy about lead gen campaign compared to other affiliate type of media buying that you was doing? Like what's
Okay.
Control is number one. What else?
Okay, so number two is you can do a lot more. For example, like you can generate leads. You can use new technologies. For example, chatbots, they're really good. You can create different flows. Then you can use all these surveys, forms, and all that. Technology, and overall you can use the latest possible technology. You don't have to just rely on, like, let's say, your advertiser or whatever. You can use much more than that if you're doing direct or using API to send leads to the buyers. And apart from that, it gives you more freedom towards, like, let's say, advertisers or niches as well. For example, if I'm promoting with an affiliate network or stuff like that, the thing is I'm just limited to the niches which are available on a network, right? Like, let's say if a network has solar, insurance, and auto and stuff like that, I'm only limited to those niches. But if with Legion, the thing is I can do way more. I can easily find buyers for the leads in other niches, like, let's say, business loans, or even like handyman, these plumbers, gas engineers, immigration, education, and stuff like that. So the opportunities are massive. And apart from that, another thing is, unlike normal traditional affiliate campaigns where you kind of send traffic to a campaign, and after like one conversion you don't get anything. With if you set up a proper lead generation, like, let's say, website or stuff, or platform, you can actually sell it as a business as well. So that's your number one revenue, is when you're selling leads to the businesses, right? The second is you can sell it as a business as well. Like, you can sell whole site as a business, and that's your um, really, big extra income. And then also you can re-engage with the audience you collect. So, for example, if I'm collecting leads, I'll have them, of course, sent to the buyer as well. But also I can keep that data as well. And when, for example, someone's birthday comes or whatever, I can just re-engage with them. Hey, or happy birthday, and we have these special offers for you. Or even, like, let's say, if someone applied for insurance or stuff like that, after a year or 2 year, we can say, okay, maybe you can compare the plans again and see which one's cheap for you now. So, it gives you more potential to expand your revenue.
Amazing. So to sum up, basically, lead gen is like SaaS. You don't do the sale one time. You're creating a consistent revenue stream because you can recycle the lead database you collect with different providers, and it gives you additional opportunities. And then you can get back to the same leads 1 year, 2 years down the road, and basically as the database grows, it creates you just more opportunities as long as you can manage it, right?
Exactly, and that's one thing which actually pushed me towards it. Because in 2017, I think I can remember we were in a conference, and that was the massive discussion. Like, affiliates are hardly now one man company. Instead, it's turning into small agencies, and we have to kind of find ways to maximize our revenues. So yeah, that's you're 100% correct.
Good. Okay, great. And you mentioned that you started lead gen with Google search. Then you, of course, mentioned chatbot service. What other channels would you say are the best for lead gen now compared to like 3 years ago? And why is the difference?
Okay, so Facebook is good, but sometimes Facebook quality may not turn out good, or especially in my case. It was working well, but then its quality started dropping now. I think that has to do with all the tracking issues and stuff like that. Apart from that, there is native. That's really good quality traffic. Then there is TikTok, YouTube, and also do not forget push notifications. That is amazing traffic quality and dirt cheap if you do it right, if you have the proper sources. Now, when we talk about push, it is all about finding the right traffic source.
So great, because push is there for like already probably 3 years when it became a big hit. And
Mhm.
I remember the hype was about everybody was doing push. And then I can see the push traffic getting declining popularity. What you mentioned is that, hey guys, you know what? Don't forget push. If you find the right quality, push traffic is good. I'm not sure how deep into your trade secrets I can step, but how would you maybe at least share insights with the audience? How would you define or what is the good push quality traffic? I mean, instead of just running the test, getting the results, if it's good, stick with it. If it's bad, just go somewhere else. Maybe
Okay.
there is more to it.
Exactly. So to find all these traffic sources, what you have to do is you have to search. For example, what are the advertising networks which specialize in certain niches? Like, let's say if you are into solar or home improvement, what I'll do is I'll look into the push notifications network which have traffic for these verticals. Then I'll check with them, do you have feeds, push feeds? And then I'll also look at all the top, like let's say native networks, for example. You also know that the tons of traffic there is push actually. They're sending out push traffic. You can look there, and then also you can look at the, as I said, the traffic sources which specialize in a certain niche. Check with them. Okay, do you have, for example, financial traffic? Go with those. If you have any home improvement or stuff like that, go with those. So you have to really look down. You can't just look at mainstream like let's say push sources and or networks and say I'll find that quality there. You have to look around, you have to dig a bit deep.
Thank you very much. And again, just to sum up, well, probably not a surprise, but the approach, it would not change with years. And the key stuff here to find good quality traffic is do your homework, like
Exactly.
research what works, what doesn't work. And second part, which especially nowadays, a lot of people like to not to do, is actually reach out to an account manager, ask him questions. I mean, of course, they try to solve the traffic, but probably if you start to ask the right questions, you'll figure out if they have it or they don't have it. Because I do see now that everybody just checks the website, say, okay, it has the right words on the website. Let me try buying it, and they would never ask people, real
Exactly.
people sitting behind the other part on that network. Hey guys, I run that offer. What would you recommend me doing? And in most cases, that's the advice all the ad networks are giving. Just ask us first. We want you to stay with us. We want you to actually earn money, to run your campaign successfully. But people don't ask. They just blow through the budget. And yeah, it happens. Great.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes people have messaged me like, "Hey, I'm promoting this on that network. What do I do?" and all that. And I'm like, your account managers, your affiliate manager, or your ad network account manager, that's their job to guide you. You should always reach them out and ask them. It's all about making human conversations. Like they're there to help you. All you have to do is just ask. If you don't have someone, try to email their support and ask them, is there someone I can speak to? Because at the end of the day, if you have a problem, they'll be always happy to solve it for you or to help you out with it. There's no way, I don't think so there's a network which will say we can't help you. Even with the newbies, the thing is, like, most of the times what their excuse is, like, oh, I'm too small. Mm, maybe they won't provide me that kind of support. No, that's wrong. All you have to do is you have to ask. If they don't give you, maybe check with somebody else. But there is always going to be someone who's will be willing to help you or guide you on things. So that's yeah, that's really important.
Yeah, and you made it very strong point. Still, with all the technology, with all the virtual reality, with all the Web 3.0, whatever stuff, and NFTs and crypto, it's still about human communications.
Exactly.
And again, I always run into the same question you mentioned. We have quite a lot of small affiliates. They have to say, hey, I have a small budget. Who would work with me? Say, you know what? Honestly, I don't know myself. But I do know if you'll just ask not one network, but two, three, four, five, better 10, you'll definitely want more than one positive reply that will be happy to onboard you even with your smaller budget and help you find the right traffic. Because you start small, but then if you're successful, you grow bigger, bigger, and bigger, and they will be happy to see you grow on that traffic, not somewhere else. People just, a lot of people don't realize this and afraid to ask. So thank you for emphasizing the importance of human communication again. Great. So I have quite a lot of questions prepared, but
Hmm.
as our the topic for today is do's and don'ts. So we have do's, like do lead gen because it gives you control and creates your recurring revenue. Do multiple channels, not Google, not only Facebook. Quality of Facebook, everybody knows. We tried to solve attribution issues, but it's still not as good as it was year and a half ago. Try push traffic. Good. What are the do's? Maybe even if you believe they're common truths, they may be not for other people. would you share with us today?
Okay, so first of all, the very first do is always use lead distribution. By lead distribution, what I mean is host and post. If possible, host those leads yourself, create your own landing pages, and then post those leads to the networks and all that. Not every network has host and post setup, but most of them do. So that's always helpful because this way you are collecting the data as well. You're keeping all the information with yourself as well, which you can use in not only local building lookalike audience, but also in email marketing and by re-engaging those prospects and stuff like that. That's really helpful because, as they always say, the money is always in the list. Now, with this, it's a bit more advanced as the way that you have their contact information as well, addresses and stuff like that. So that's way more powerful information. As compared to just having someone's email. So yeah, definitely use this lead distribution, and then build this. Of course, do email marketing, nurture leads, not just sell them once, sell them twice, sell them three times or four times, but always keep them engaged. And if you're building lists, I think the most important thing is to build a connection with them, with your prospects. Be engaged with them. Don't just send them promotional emails and all that. Be more friendly. Don't always sell them stuff. Ask them, share success stories and share tips, and stuff like that. Also, always ask for feedback from your audience and from your advertisers as well. That's most important because that's what is going to help you improve your quality. Because the quality, for example, it depends on traffic source to traffic source, and from funnel to funnel. To improve all of this, you need two things. Number one, feedback from your audience, who are going to tell you what they like, what they don't like about your product. And if they're signing up and not converting for the buyer, for your lead buyer, why they are not converting. Same way, your lead buyer's feedback is really important, which will help you determine what traffic source is converting for you, what's working, what's not working, what you can do to improve your funnel. And then the last thing is, do look for more niches as well. Like, don't just stick to the mainstream niches. Like, let's say these days everyone's talking about, like, let's say real estate, insurance related and all that. These are not just niches out there. There's tons of stuff which may not be available on mainstream affiliate networks, but if you start looking around, you'll find tons of buyers. So these are a few do's.
Great. And to just sum it up, because it all goes down to actually host and post, because
Hmm.
host and post gives you the power to reuse the data you collected. And then
Exactly.
the key, it usually is the key to email marketing from my regular marketing days, but you need to structure your audience so that you can easily create a segment of your list that will be good for a particular product or offer or a niche. And then again, getting down to communication, just don't, and sorry, I'm just doing summary for the audience.
It's all right.
Don't
Thank you.
sell. uh, uh, be engaging and useful. Do great content. And nowadays, it's not that difficult to content as long as you know what your audience is all about. And that's where segmentation comes into play. Because probably if you do some generic stuff for all your list, you will miss. If you'll start to do content for the segment, like solar office, finance, real estate, home improvements, then you'll be able to provide some value to the group. And then the last one, which is even more important, ask for feedback with your traffic sources, with your audience, with your affiliate network. Listen to feedback and improve. And those would be amazing do's, and probably everything else goes into don'ts. But KJ, if you highlight, like, what will be the primary do not to do this? Something learned from seeing others do and never wanted to repeat, or maybe you did and found, well, I don't want to do that another time.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move to don'ts now. The very first one is, don't think it like, you have to change your mentality from being an affiliate. The thing is, being an affiliate, what we care about is just conversion rate. As many conversions as possible. But when you are into lead generation, the most important thing is your quality, your lead quality. So focus on quality instead of conversions. So don't just think about a typical affiliate who's just concerned about his own conversions. Instead, focus on your quality, because even if you generate thousands and thousands of leads and your quality is not good, at the end of the day you're going to lose your buyer. If they don't receive good results, they won't work with you. So it's most important to focus on your conversions. And then also another thing is, don't get impatient. Like if you're not getting any good results or stuff like that, it takes time. It takes, like, personally, if I give you my own example, it took me 2 years to just optimize my conversion rate from my funnel, from, like, let's say 4-5% to 15%. Right, these days we are hitting around 18% conversion rate from visitor to lead. So it takes a while for you to optimize everything, and it takes lots of time as well to get your conversions and all that. So learn from the process, learn from your mistakes, try to not be impatient and expect results from day one. Instead, slowly things will start building up. So that's really important as well. And then the last one is, don't start without a proper strategy or proper plan. Have a proper marketing plan. Who your audience is, know them, what they're looking for, why they're looking for that product. What are their issues, what are the other brands available, how you can provide them the better service, what are your pros and what are your cons. So you have to be prepared for everything. And another thing is, you need to ask yourself that, if I was the customer, would I sign up for my own product or my own service? If yes, why? If not, why? And then try to remove those things which are making you feel like you won't sign up. So these are a few don'ts which I wrote down about lead generation.
Amazing, thank you. And again, it actually goes down to very basic things, but very important one. And don't rush. Do your homework. Ask for feedback. And that's again like do, but it's also don't forget to ask for feedback, because when you mentioned lead quality, it's always about asking the buyer if they like the leads. Are the leads good? How many good leads? And for me, by the way, it was always a bit of a mystery. When you generate those leads at scale, how do you figure out what to adjust to improve the lead quality? Like the boss, hey, like every other lead or 2 out of 3 leads are good, 30% are not good. What do you do to impact it, like to improve the lead quality, if your like traffic channels remain the same and probably your funnel would not change much, or you actually play with the funnel?
Yeah, exactly. So what you do is, you first of all look at your own funnel, right? Is there any problem? Is there anything you need to change? You go through it. You even I sometimes sit my buyers down and ask them, okay, let's go through it. For example, one thing we noticed was with Facebook, we had tons of issues related to targeting people who were not speaking English. And that's, I'm talking about UK market, right? So what we did was, we went through all the funnel, and we added some more extra steps to avoid that kind of things, and that actually helped to improve or conversion rates a bit. So you sit down, you look at things, and then you also look at your ads. What's going on? What's going on that side? Are people actually clicking? Is there any way that, like, you're maybe trying to mislead them or something, or they believe something else, and when they land on your funnel, maybe they don't get what they're expecting. So you have to look at all these things, and based on that, you have to make decisions
Good.
and look at
Uh,
it. And then also, sorry for cutting you off,
yeah.
you have to also look at your tracker as well. If your CTR is dropping, maybe you can split test. Look at your ads, ad sets, your ads and all that, and you compare all the data and see what's happening, and how you can fix it. Actually, the data on your tracker can actually help you to identify all the hiccups and fix them.
Interesting, because what you mentioned right now is, well, basic lead gen is very relevant to how you do like regular lead gen for if you are by yourself. Is basically the quality is that if you try to be inclusive and very
Hmm.
broad, you got tons of irrelevant traffic, tons of irrelevant signups. Same with lead gen.
Exactly.
You better decrease the conversion rate like become exclusive, like stop people from filling the form till the end, or just filter them out in the process. But then you ensure that the buyer gets high quality leads, likes and builds to you, and in the end you earn more money. Maybe short term you earn less, but if you consider lifetime value, and that all goes back down to that initial statement, host and post, the lifetime value of the data you accumulated increases because it's high quality. Great.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
amazing. I hope everybody learned something. If I would be in lead gen, I would be making notes. And you telling which in such a great fashion that I was like, maybe I should, but I don't have time. It's exciting. I do like media, but I do like marketing. But nowadays, I probably focused on some other things, not running campaigns. Good. So now we have people watching us across Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, probably some other channels. We even have Twitch somehow. Do we have any questions from the audience? Because I do have questions from the forums that we collected. I'm ready to ask, but let's start with those people who are online now. Guys, do you have any questions?
I think we got really intelligent people around. No questions.
I like to ask questions. I mean, I learned myself that there is no certainly a stupid question. Maybe there is, but better to ask the stupid question than not to ask it and figure out that it was actually a very good question. So, uh,
Yeah, the thing is, there's no stupid question.
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
But when when you are on the answering side, you definitely know that because you can
yeah.
see why people ask you, especially when you accumulate that experience. But when somebody new joins, like they don't have
Mhm.
that years of experience, think the question may be stupid because of your experience, which is definitely not true. And I
Yeah.
totally support here. There is no stupid questions, but we also have very good questions. So let me start with those I have. Um, I'll post them right to our chat so everybody can see them and to the screen. So here we go. And the first one, what kind of landing pages are you seeing working best for social traffic?
Okay, for social, to be honest with you, I have seen, like, let's say, between short editorials and then um, long as well. I tried both, and they work both really well. To be honest, VSLs I don't use them. I just use editorials with the short and long text. And one thing I'd always say is they have to be engaging. They have to. It can't be just a plain landing page or advertorial with no, like, let's say, CTA and all that. You have to make very strategic, find really strategic placements for the CTA, and not just one or two. That's really important for that, in my opinion. Like, one of the best things I have seen so far, which works really good, is floating CTA. A floating bar where a customer can click whenever they want. Then you can create calculators. You can create, like, let's say, show them a map, and okay, select your town, select your city, or stuff like that. And then you can also use different kind of, interactive content, and that always works well, like, as I said, calculators and stuff like that.
Amazing. So first of all, I'm actually making notes. So soon in all RedTrack forms will see floating CTA because that's it's such a simple but great idea because sometimes you have to scroll up or down to
Hmm.
get that call to action button, and some
Yeah,
people may just opt in to close the page. And I
yeah.
not in a big fan of those accident pop-ups or something huge pops on screen. I mean, I probably would not fill it out unless I'm very uh, intent to find the form and just fail to do it on the page. So floating CTA, actually, great idea. Thank you. Made a note, and we'll try to incorporate it ourselves. Good. Another question would be this one. Let me copy paste into the chat.
Hmm.
Oh, what are the biggest factors that make or break the success of a lead gen campaign?
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, I really love this question. The biggest factor is going to be your lead quality, to be honest. um, if your lead quality is good, it's going to make you, no matter how long you have to struggle, for how long you have to run it. Um, if you just focus on your quality, that's a massive one. You can increase, you can get the payout of your choice. Like that's another thing. Literally, I'm at a point where if I'm working with affiliate networks, they can't give me the payout which I'm getting from my buyers, and that's only because of my lead quality, right? um and I mean, so again, that's the same thing. Like you call your price, you set up the lead quality, and then you call your price. So yeah, it's going to be, the biggest is going to be your lead quality. If it converts, if it works, if people are really qualified, amazing, that's the best thing.
Yeah, because as a buyer, everybody has their KPIs in place, and they
Yeah,
know exactly how much they can pay you for the lead as long as they're making the profit. And
yeah,
probably as a
exactly.
buyer, they will pay you as much as they can as long as they keep sending them leads, because they mean they get those leads, they close the business, and their KPIs are in place. So yeah,
Yeah.
great. So next one. Well, this one is we probably covered multiple times, or you covered multiple times today. But how do you
Oh,
search the angles for each vertical?
okay, that's a really interesting one. What we do is we look at different aspects. Like uh, you I have a proper process, right? I do a proper psychographic profiling and all that, so I have a really long document and all that, like a questionnaire which I fill for every campaign and stuff like that. But to short to give you an answer in short time, I'd say look at your competitors, what they're doing, how they're doing, what are their pros and cons. Look at Reddit, look at Yahoo Answers, look at Quora, look at social media pages of your competitors. What are people complaining about? What are the people, praising in a brand? Like, let's say if they're saying this brand is good, why is it good? What is the good thing they're providing, right? For example, RedTrack, why is it famous for? Amazing customer support, right? So these are the things you look at. You look at the pros and cons, and you look at how your product fits in there. For example, if someone's giving you a good service, okay, great. What else is it? What is is my buyer uh, able to provide that kind of service? Okay, good. If not, why not? And then you look at what are the problems people facing, and you make angles around those. For example, like let's say if we look at payday loans, right? Who is going to more likely apply for payday loans? Students, most likely. Why? Or people with bad credit. So now you bad credit is going to be you can turn and make an angle around bad credit. Do you have bad credit? We understand no bank's going to give you loan or whatever, so you can apply for payday loan and stuff. So there's tons of ways you can create different angles, and the best source is not spy tools but your audience. See what what they're struggling with. The Reddit is full of all the ideas for your angles, so just go out and think out of the box. Okay, so how high can you scale push notifications? Not the same scale as Facebook and YouTube. Do you sometimes need to do retargeting on push before they convert? um okay, sorry, I read this question. Lad,
That's
I'll
fine.
take. Yeah. So well, the volume is going to be an issue. There are small pockets of traffic, right? I mean, if I say like push traffic is as big as native or Facebook, I'd be lying. It's not. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to quality, right? So if your source is giving you a good quality, um, you can easily go exclusive with that publisher or that feed owner. So that's what I do. I mean, if I like the traffic quality, what I do is I'm like, okay, guys, I want all your traffic, not just a little bit. And retargeting. The thing is, these kind of push notification networks, they keep on adding more and more traffic inventory. So you don't really have to do it. Actually, what I do is I try to set up frequency cap at 7 days, around that. So I don't retarget them. But yes, you can retarget them on other traffic sources. Now, again, that's why your host and post comes into play. Maybe someone signed up or went on my website, but they didn't complete the funnel, or they didn't go to thank you page. What I'll do is I can target them on Facebook, I can target them on Google or YouTube, and then make them retarget them using those traffic sources. So yeah, I do use retargeting, but not on push.
Great. Thank you. And again, for me, it all boils down to when you look at lead gen, the way you describe it, there is not much difference compared to all the other businesses that do, well, sell online. You still
Exactly.
create the profile of people. You still build your audience. You still collect your audience data and you try to recycle it historically. And you still try to build the audience profiles or buyer personas, and you speak to each buyer persona individually. That's the
Yeah,
best part with lead gen probably, is that you are not stuck with just one product, and you can find the best product for the buyer personas you have, not vice versa, giving you additional opportunities to monetize your database. That's
exactly.
amazing. Great. So, well, and a couple of more questions again from the forums for our live stream today. So, this one, can you talk about your strategy of finding the winners? I'll probably, you mentioned multiple times before, it's all about quality, but maybe there's more to it.
Yeah, well, what you do is you sometimes people narrow down, right? I used to do that as well, but now I don't target like really narrow audiences, especially if we talk about Facebook, if we talk about TikTok or whatever. What we do is we just throw it out there, test it, see what's working, and then filter out the ones which are not working, and for example, ad sets or the interests which are not working and all that, and then narrow it down to the ones which are actually converting well for us. So yeah, but my first thing is the first thing I try to, like, let's say when I launch a campaign, the very first thing I'll try to find is the best creatives which are working, the best headlines which are working. Then I'll focus more towards my advertorial, and then I'll focus towards my funnel and all that. And then probably I'll when I'm scaling, once I have figured out, like, let's say, okay, this is the type of creative which is working, that's the type of advertorial which is generating best results, my funnel is fine. The next step is to try to scale it. Now I'll add more and more interests and try to expand it and scale it.
Okay, and that's a very quite common phrase with the marketers. Find the creative that's working, find the audience that's working, find the headline that's working. I have my internal definition. What's working? How would you define this? You know what? You have a bunch of ads, right, in that segment. How would you say, okay, those are working, those are not working?
Well, that's something you look into your trackers, right, and in your data. Like if they are converting for you as compared to you compare with them with the other assets basically and see their performance. What is what I try to do is I try to create an Excel sheet and write that down. Okay, what was the change I made which made it work? If it is working, why is it working? If it's not working, why it's not working? What are more likely the cause which is not converting it? So yeah, these are the things. But once you start running into these kind of things, I think you get an idea why is it going to work or why it won't get work. It just naturally comes to you. But yeah, another thing is, one more important thing is, or advice is, never like kind of just try something because you think it won't work. Don't test everything. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't just think like, okay, I assume this is not going to work and just leave it there. No, test it out, because in most of the times the things which you say or think are not going to work. Don't assume things basically are going to work best.
Yeah, and for me, then I'll share my part of the story because I you mentioned quality multiple times, and I was subtly expecting to say, okay, I also try to attach the quality or the feedback from the buyers to the ad campaign
Exactly, that's important. That's
because we had when I was lead gen, but for SaaS media buying at scale in US, many years ago, what we did, we noticed, and it was mostly Google search. There was no Facebook at the times, and Google search was just basically spreading its wings, and
Mm-hmm.
people would ever seen us doing things, say, "Hey guys, it's not like how B2B Legion works." And we were just quietly laughing because we were feeding the 10 salespeople with inbound leads. All was good. But what we noticed is that Google had this, and inflation, we call it search inflation, like our CPAs or CPCs, doesn't matter, would go 15 to 20% year over year, like
That's true.
on the clock. So, and 3 years down the road, like those 15-20%, they add up, and we said, okay, and we were testing a lot. Like we found the limits to the number of keywords in Google Ad account.
Mm-hmm.
We managed to do that manually. I
Wow.
mean, there were little tools except Google Ads Editor at the times. We found the number of limits to campaigns, to ad groups, to everything, because eventually we said, yeah, we cannot add anymore. So what we did, we actually took our 3 years of data. And by the way, that was the time we started to think about RedTrack, because we had a huge technology team. We built a tracking tool for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. It just went down under the load of data, probably 2 months in the life of the us just starting to collect the data and say, yeah, we kind of cannot build the analytical software we want. And we went back to using the mix of Google Analytics, Omniture, expensive, I mean, crazy expensive, but it was
Mm-hmm.
at the times, and Excel. And Excel still was
Yeah.
our best friend with all the keywords, variations, multiplication stuff. So what we did, we basically took all our 3 years of data, and we rebuilt all our Google campaigns from scratch to fight that search inflation.
Yeah.
We launched a surprise. We started to get leads at lower quality. And of course, because of the budgets, of the high volume, 2 weeks down the road, we realized that the quality went downhill dramatically. Like it's not 20% decrease in quality. The quality went down 50% of time. So we used to get like 30 great leads per day, was to generate 40, but all those 40 good ones were like 10 at best.
Wow.
What we did, we scrapped 3 months of work, flushed it down the drain, get back to campaigns that were working with all those increase, and started to pay more for the leads, but all the high quality. And I noticed and surprised that's a pattern. When I
Mm-hmm.
was doing programmatic, and we were doing selling remnant traffic, especially
Right.
to retargeting to e-com. We had a huge network. We had tons of remnant traffic. So we say, hey guys, you can buy bids like say 8, 6, or $2 CPM.
Mm-hmm.
And I was okay. We want 2, and I would say, hey guys, don't go for 2, go for 8. Nobody would believe me. Why would pay 4 times CPM for the remnant
Mm-hmm.
traffic? But there's something that has to do with the ad fatigue on a particular
Yeah.
website. So the
Yeah.
higher CPMs get you to the eyes of people who are not yet tired with
Yeah.
consuming the content, and those high CPMs get way better quality clicks and leads and results.
Yeah.
So that was a huge surprise. And but as I was offered, like, hey, do the test, run one campaign 8 CPM, another campaign 2 CPM, compare the data. Nobody ever would be sticking with $2 CPM campaign. Everyone would just pay 8. We were good.
Yeah.
So that was about testing, finding winners. It's sometimes not about the cost, but it's about the whole funnel, which ends up in
Exactly.
the leads, in the end, in the quality. Because you do shit quality, the buyer stops working with you. You do
And
great
that's a
quality, as
massive
you mentioned,
problem.
yeah, but then you do great quality, and buyer pays you the money you want to get, because probably he has his business models, and he still has like another 20% capacity he can
Yeah.
allow himself just in case.
Yeah, and sometimes the thing is like not everyone's going to send them the quality traffic. So what's happening? Maybe they don't have even cap for you, but in next month or next week they can make a cap for you because you're sending them the best quality traffic. So
Good.
that you can easily take over that, and that's the beauty of lead generation. Another thing, like the thing is, it's your own brand as well. So um, it's not just an affiliate offer or anything. You have to think like a brand owner, because at the end of the day, it's your site. You're owning it, so you have to look at how to make it more trustworthy for people and all that. And that's really important as well. And you can do a lot with it. You can also split test between buyers as well. That's another thing. Sorry, I'm adding another question or answer. That is not, it's not always going to be the problem with your quality. It could be the buyers as well. Like, they don't know how to sell. The call center team is maybe terrible or stuff like that. So you have to sometimes work on that end as well. Try to work with different multiple buyers and see how they do. And what I do is, before I sign up with the buyer or anything, I just dial in and see how their quality is like. And actually, another thing is, like, sometimes your buyers would complain to you about quality, but they can't. Another thing you need to do is to ask them for the proof. What's the proof you have that the quality is bad? That means ask them to send you like, if they're calling leads. In my case, that's what they do: call them and sell them on phone. So what I do is I ask them, okay, send me the call records, send me the list of the customers which you're saying had bad quality. Give me the proof. Where's the proof? And then I listen to those recordings, and then I call the customer as well. Okay, you use my site, that's the site, customer feedback, blah blah blah, what happened there, because we want to fix it.
And
So
this moment to remember Glenn Ross. Leads are not weak. You are
yeah,
weak.
exactly.
And there is a question to me. So why it took us 2 weeks to get the data? Because that was quite a high ticket project, like with typically 5 to 6 figure annual subscriptions. So it takes time to understand that the data in the form is good. People are picking up the phone, but never ever they're going to buy it. And sometimes not
Exactly.
evident, because I know people like to talk.
Yeah.
They pick up the phone, they answer the scheduled demos, they go through the demos, and that's the most terrible thing, because sometimes the biggest tag kickers are the most attentive listeners, because they try
Yeah.
to extract information from you,
Yeah. And
and
okay,
that's also good.
yeah, there are a few more things into that as well. It depends on day as well. It depends on time as well, and it depends on dates as well. That's what I learned. Like, like, let's say 2 weeks. I don't think so. That's too long. It should be a month at least. Why? Because, for example, what I noticed is, within the first 15 days, people are more responsive and all that. After 15 days, it slows down. Then it depends on your day. Like, let's say on Sunday, you'll receive more leads. Monday, people will stop picking up calls and all that. So there are lots of trends you have to look at. It's not just probably day of the month. It has to be do with the dates as well, and the weeks as well. So pretty interesting data if you look at it that way.
Yeah, and then depending on the niche, you might have seasonality.
Yeah,
So for us, and we went B2B, and quite a lot of events happened during all the time. So sometimes a big outside event, like it has nothing to do with the business, like say elections in the US.
yeah,
Elections, the lead quality and volumes, they just go down. It's not about campaigns. People don't care about what you do right now. They care about elections.
yeah. That's true. That's
And
that's really good.
everything goes back. And when we started to do a programmatic, the first technique we tried to incorporate was actually the raise bids or shutdown ads based on weather in London.
Yeah,
Because if it's sunny, nobody stays home.
that's a massive issue. That's a massive issue. And the thing is, they stop picking up calls. You know?
Because they're outside. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been to Kemal Khan. It's sunny. Actually, try to run out and enjoy the weather. Don't stay inside. So
yeah.
great. Thank you. I honestly enjoyed very much. I made more than one note, but this one about voting call to actions is the first thing we'll do after the call. So thank you guys. Do you maybe have any questions to me?
Um, no, that's. I think it's love. All like to say is just keep it going. It was really lovely to speak to you, and thank you very much. And
It
I don't
was
have any
our
questions
pleasure.
for me.
So if we don't have any questions from the audience, So first of all, this one, and I have to share the feedback just for everybody to see on the screen. But I'll say that we will restream it, of course, on our channels, and then we'll try to creatively cut into smaller pieces of content and share with everybody so you can consume it either whole or just pieces of wisdom that KJ shared with you today about lead gen. So thank you very much for being the guest of RedTrack live streams today. You set up a very good and promising start. So
Thank you very
the next
much.
speaker will have to raise the bar and provide even bigger value, which will be a challenging task. So we'll have to find a topic that will fit the speaker. Thank you very much. It
My
was a
pleasure.
pleasure having you on the call. Everybody, thank you for joining our streams.
Thank you.
For those who
Bye-bye.
see the recording,
Bye-bye.
thank you and bye. You can sign up here on the RedTrack channel for us, and we end the stream. Enjoy.